I need answers. Tell me what's going on? What have you done to me?
Well, every day I am getting so many people propose to me in the DMs. In fact, you are too, Caroline. In fact, every single person on here, if you're on social media, you are as well. And I've decided I've had enough. I'm sick of it.
Well, I am too. Who are all these people proposing to you? I'm angry. As you can tell, I sound livid. Okay, so everyone's proposing to you in the DMs, and I presume it's not actual get down on their knee, ask you to marry you kind of proposals, or I'm just a little girl.
Weirdo that drops a message to ask if he can be my sugar daddy. I've had a couple of those, but no, I'm on about cold DMs. See, the thing is that when you ask to work with someone, or you ask someone if they want to buy your services, it's like asking for a commitment. And the reason being is because imagine this. You're in the queue. You're trying to get coffee, right? You're queuing up at Starbucks or Costa or Pret. Insert your favorite coffee shop here. And queuing up and you get any coffee and some guy just walks up to you and he goes, "Hi, I'm a web designer and I think your website sucks. I can improve it to make your conversions 10x over the next 48 hours. Are you interested in discussing my bronze package to blah, blah, blah?" You'd be like, "Can someone call the police? Because this is a bit scary. Like, what's going on?" It's awkward, but
Sidestep, wouldn't you?
yeah, you would sort of be like, "Yeah, no, you're not going anywhere near my website, buddy." That's what people are doing in the DMs every single day. When you reach out and you offer your services, or you ask someone if they want to be your client or whatever, it's literally asking them for commitment. They don't know you. They don't trust you. They've never bloody met you before. And you're coming on too much too soon. You've got to build a relationship with someone.
My question is what is it about being online that gives permission to act like weirdos, basically? Like, why are they doing that? What's with the breaking of social norms online? Why is that okay?
Because you change the context and everything changes, right? So it's like, if you walk down the street and you bump into someone or you cut someone up, let's say you're both walking in the same line and one of you moves left and one of you moves right. You both laugh about it and be like, sorry, and whatever, and keep walking. Yeah. If you do that in a car, there's middle fingers, there's swearing, there's screaming, there's rage, right? And for some reason, when we change the context by just changing the environment we're in, our behavior changes. Now, when we're in the DM inbox, there isn't the context that we're used to. If you're at a bar and you're waiting to be served a drink, and the barmaid is taking forever. Let's say you're at a wedding, right? And you were stood there for 20 minutes and the guy next to you is in the same situation. You can both tell body language. You're getting a bit fed up and flustered by this situation. Natural thing to do would be to be like, "Oh God, it's taken ages, isn't it?" You'd be like, "Yeah." And then you might be like, "Oh, how long have you been stood here?" And you might be like, "Oh, about 25 minutes. You might be like, "Oh, same." And then be like, "Oh, how do you know the bride and groom then?" And then now a conversation starts to flow. So in the online world, the context changes. We don't have the person in front of us. We can't see them. We can't feel them. We can't sense their energy. We haven't got those kind of social cues to pick up on. And so that in itself can feel a bit odd to start a conversation with someone. However, what happens is, I think it's just the context changes because that person isn't in front of you. You don't act normally. You don't behave like you would in the offline world.
There's a really good point to just pull out on this, right? One of the reasons is there's anonymity.
Yeah, that's true.
Big one, anonymity. Because the reason why you don't do that, someone is in front of you at a coffee shop if you pass right, because they'll just punch you. Right. If you're in like a little road argument, you've got this gigantic steel cage set like protecting you. What happens when you get out? You're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it." I think like it's funny, like road rage is enabled by protection. And so rudeness online is basically enabled by anonymity. It's like, I don't need to follow social norms because there's no repercussions. But I think that also touches on a really important point about social interaction, is that investment. If you're treating someone like like you're anonymous and that their comfort doesn't matter to you, then you're showing them a lack of investment. You're showing that you don't care about them. And so they will probably respond in kind and ignore you. So that's the anonymity probably presents a really good opportunity to just kind of throw away courtesy, really. And I think it makes it easier. It makes it easier. And we've seen this with dating. If we bring it back to the engagement stuff, it's so easy. Guys can just swipe on a girl. Yeah, no. They don't do that in real life. They go, no. A girl comes up to them. Yes. You could go to the right, darling. You go to the left. Like, they don't do that. You've got like thousands of people just thumbing each other's yeses and nos. So it's like this anonymity, so it's the context of online that now it changes the behavior because there's anonymity and ease as well.
However, I also know that a lot of people that are sending these DMs are genuinely trying to build relationships or trying to get customers and therefore not relying on the anonymity. The anonymity thing comes in more for like cyberbullying, negative comments, but someone who's dropping, I mean, like I've got a couple of examples here of DMs that have been sent to me in the past.
So yeah, that's another good point actually, because it's not quite anonymous. Let's take out anonymous. It's protection though. There is a protection element. And also, but what about the ease? It's very easy to spam people. It's harder to spam people in real life. But then also that draws up a really interesting question is if it was easy to spam people in real life, go up to someone, just hand out your business card would people do it?
I think there are lots of strategies out there, which is about spamming people. I mean, easier and easier to do with chatbots, etc. My point for this engagement party is the fact that I know a lot of our community, they really don't want to come across as someone who is sleazy or salesy. They just don't want that vibe. They're kind of a bit scared of sales calls for that reason, or they've learned how to sell in a way that feels soulful. And they certainly don't want to be ruining their reputation by dropping into the DM inbox and cold spamming people to try and create connections. I'll show some examples of DMs and why they're bad.
Yeah. Actually, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting to see some examples of some bad DMs. Oh,
yeah. Because like, especially one or two of these, like the intention's so good. Like there is completely good intentioned people that are trying to just run their business, especially the guy in the middle. Unfortunately, I don't have the video anymore. I can't find the video, but I've got a picture of the video and I'll walk you through what the video said. So,
and bear in mind that people on certain platforms will not be able to see the pictures and stuff.
I'm going to read it out. So this first one, we've got, hello, your account is amazing. Okay, well, I mean, it's not offensive, but it's like, what do you want me to do with that? It's like, it just makes it feel awkward. I mean, I'm not very good at receiving compliments anyway. So like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what, I just said, thank you. Yes, it's amazing. And then here we go. I'm a content creator and I also can make video editing and video transcribing. Can I share my work? No, I'm busy. I don't know who you are. Why would I want to see your work? I'm already looking at all our clients' work. I've got so much to do. I can't look at your work. And then harassing me further. Hello, can I share my work? Please reply. Needy, trying to get my attention. Like just terrible. It's not starting.
I don't hate that, to be honest. I don't hate that.
I hate it because it's immediately message 2, all about them. Sorry, message 3, all about them. It's like, hook me in with a bit of a sleazy compliment and then turn it around to offer your services. Don't like it.
Yeah, okay, you're right. I do quite like the bold. I personally quite like the brazenness. I don't like the feigned. Hello, actually, also, I think your account is amazing. So I'm in agreement with that, but it does seem agendaed, right? It's what I think like it does, despite the fact my account is amazing. Yes, you are factually accurate. It is feigned and yeah. But I kind of like the brazen. I'm a content creator. I also make video editing and video transcribing. Can I share my work? I mean, it's very easy to be like, no. To be fair though, I will say it's not very effective if you want to build a relationship. Like for me, I wouldn't mind that message because if I wanted him to share his work, I'd just say, yes, that'd be great. The chances of me wanting him to share the work, I guess that's the point, isn't it? It's like, I don't hate the message. I don't feel offended by it. Some of them I'm like, oh, if I was in a car, I would just be saying horrible things, basically, because they're terrible. But yeah, okay, not going to help.
So let's helpful. Ways to improve it then. Like, how would you improve it? Me, one of the first things I would do is make it a bit more personal, right? Hello, your account is amazing. Okay, well, you can literally copy and paste that to 5 million people. You could have got not ChatGPT. You could have got, well, ChatGPT would have written something better than that. You could have got one of the chatbots to just paste that into loads and loads and loads of accounts. I'm going to get up one that was really good, actually, that I did end up buying services from. If I can find it, I'll share that in a minute. But yeah, so anyway, something personal. Mention the word rebellious. Mention a post that I created or something that was said. Like, what is it about the account that's amazing that will then prove that you haven't just copied and pasted that to everyone? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I'm at a mess because it's so hard to sort of like, it's so hard. How do you introduce yourself to a complete stranger? Your account is amazing. Also, I find it awful when
you need a touch point. That's the point. There's no touch.
Okay.
See,
yes.
We were talking about
the
real world versus the offline, online. That what's missing? There's no touch point, right? So I've never spoken to website landing page before. I don't know who they are. Message me.
They sound really interesting.
And their touch point that they're using is that my account is amazing, but that isn't
also
point.
Website landing page. Why are you making video editing and video transcribing? They're different things.
Oh, I know. And yeah, show your face so I can connect with you. You're a human talking to me. Maybe, might not be. Again, this guy. Now, I actually sent him an authentic message back to tell him what I thought of it, because to try and be helpful, because you could tell he was so lovely. Like, you could tell he was a good egg, right?
You're such a sucker for a good egg. If someone's a nice person, you and such. They engaged you.
Well, so basically his video was like, hey, how's it going? I've just checked out your profile and I can see that you're into like loads of personal development stuff and mindset things. And yeah, me too. And I just wanted to basically reach out by video and connect with you and da-da-da-da-da. And it was the energy on the video was great. He was smiley. You could tell he was lovely, but you could also tell it was a video that was pretending to be personal, but was actually for mass DMing.
You think it'd be, see, again, in this situation, like if you've got a nice attitude, what I really don't like is like, hey, I really want to be friends with you. What I would really prefer is like, I thought when you were telling me the story, I thought it was an individual message, which I was like, that's cool.
Oh, that would be great.
But I would also like the upfrontness. Like, hey, I really like this about your profile, blah, blah, blah. So you're really into personal development, straight talk. I'm a coach. I'm looking for clients, or I'm looking to add something to demonstrate value.
Mm-hmm.
No strings attached. Do you want to catch up for a chat? Because I think I could potentially add value to you, but if not, no harm done. Like, I want that. Just tell me what you want. Don't pretend to be my friend. Don't hook me in with friendship. I'm vulnerable.
That's it. So you were being upfront, but also like you could send a video out like this en masse, but be honest about it. Don't pretend that you've looked at my profile and you've seen. My first thought was, have I got loads about spirituality and mindset on my profile? I don't think I do. It's kind of more about business. So anyway, I did message him back and I was like, I love that you've sent out a video. I said, but just being honest, as like a business coach myself that does similar things, I can tell this is copy and paste. And that kind of takes the edge off of the nice video for me, because it feels very impersonal and it actually feels fake that you've pretended it's personal, which was a shame.
I like how you're both drawn in by a good egg, but also the correct. But hey, listen, I am no fool.
For a while, I used to give these people advice. I'd message back going, do you really think this strategy is going to work? Let me teach you a better one. And then I just got swamped with them. I just couldn't bother anymore. But yeah. And this one, social media curated by Mary, just a name and shame. Again, great intentions, but it's just straight in for the sell, basically. It's straight in for the proposal, straight in for the commitment. Like, hi, Kate, start off. My name's not Kate. That's my last name. Yes. Smith. What can I do for you? Right. Hi, Kate. Hope things are well on your end. I'm curious if you've considered delegating some of your IG tasks so that you can focus on your zone of genius or client work. Oh, how do you know my IG tasks aren't my zone of genius? And also, I'm not going to delegate them. I'm not going to let someone I don't know into my Instagram account. Like, that's like letting a stranger into your house. So just come and, I don't know, didn't like it. I know how entrepreneurs and female leaders tend to have a full plate, so just wanted to check if one of my services can provide value to you. Now, look, it's not a bad message. We haven't got the fawning. We haven't got the fake kindness. We haven't got the pretending to be personal. So it doesn't but what we do have is straight in for the offer. There's no relationship built. You've got my name wrong. It's all a bit of a shame, really, I think. And then, just straight into listing services. And I just was
I think she is using the launchable format, but the message isn't very good. But regardless, that's don't know. It's still not the best one. I honestly think the winner is Mr. Video in the middle. If there had to be, we should have. Let's have a vote of all the examples. Who's the best and who's the worst?
B.
Yeah, obviously.
In the middle, I'm yours.
We've got winners. Everyone's saying B in the chat. I think B because he's got cute face. Kelly, that is it's handy. To be fair, it's handy. I reckon that's one of the reasons why he did it. It's like, I know I'm cute. So let's just put my face out there.
With a video message though, is that too much too soon? Like, I often feel like voice notes are so great, but leave it till like message 2 or message 3.
The problem I find with videos is also you can't summarize a video by looking at it. I can't speed read a video.
True.
So if I see a video in my inbox from someone I don't know, although also it is a bit of clickbait, isn't it? You're like, send me a video. Whereas, so it's a bit more like, I open spam mail from my door because it's a novelty these days. What?
Mum's watching. Just wanted to say hi to her.
Who's mum?
Your mum.
My mum? Oh, Jenny. Hello.
Hello, Jenny. Sorry. Interrupting this broadcast to say hello to Caroline's mum.
Hi, mum.
So what we were missing then in those messages is natural touch point, as I said. So like, I think that's the thing. We're talking about context. When you think about conversations in the offline world, all the conversations that you start with people, they all have a natural touch point. You're waiting at the bar for ages. You're in the line for the post office. You're delayed at an airport. You're on a train. You're at an event somewhere. You're working the room at a networking event.
Define a natural touch point. Define what natural touch point means to me for a second.
So a natural touch point is where you have either shared an interest, an experience, a moment, or something that creates almost like an excuse or a reason or a foundation to start a conversation on top of. So
foundation's nice.
Yeah. Without a touch point, it's a bit awkward. It'd be like someone just walking up to you in the street and starting a conversation. There's no touch point there. The only touch point is
context.
That you're on the same street. It's not really...
What about if someone's like, excuse me, do you have the time? Is the time the touch point?
That's good. The asking for the time becomes the touch point.
Okay, I'm just laughing. I'm going to get swamped with people in my DM. Like, excuse me, have you got the time? It's a perfect touch point. It's about like, the time you send this message, or is it the time I receive this message? Okay, so that's not a good touch point outside DMs, but that's quite funny. Okay, so asking someone the time is fine.
That's offline, right? So these are all offline. Okay. John's just put in the chat asking for directions.
Why is it important that there's a touch point to have that conversation? Here's my theory on this, right? If someone goes up to you and starts talking to you, they are presuming there's so much bias there, right? Why are they talking to you specifically when there's so many other people? Like, almost if you're in a desert and you see someone, it's like, oh, that in itself is the touch point, right? It doesn't matter any of the information about the person, what they look like, or what they're wearing, anything about them. There's a good enough reason for these two people to be talking like, let's get out of this desert. But if there's loads of people around and someone comes up to you and starts talking to you, you are suspicious. You're like, why are you talking to me? Why me? You don't know anything about me. You don't, like, if you're not asking for the time, and even if someone sought me out in a crowd to ask me the time, I'll be like, off. Why are you asking me? Like, there were like 20 other people. So like, I would be really like annoyed about that as well. So it's like, what is it? I think it's like, cause they must be making some presumptions about you. So potentially, maybe most obvious is that they might think you're attractive and they want to talk to you. And like the only reason I take any sort of issue with that is it's like, it doesn't showcase that there's any actual value to me as a person. If just because let's say someone finds me attractive and they want to have a conversation with me, that doesn't mean that they have any interest in me as a person. They don't have any interest in getting to, like, just because they think I'm attractive, let's say, but it's suspicious and I don't want to have that conversation.
Yeah.
So it's suspicious. Other than that, I can't like, so the touch point suggests that there's the bias of appearance is stripped back. Maybe the bias of something is taken away.
Yeah. And it also, suspicious is a really good thing, because I think a lot of these, and that is the problem with a lot of the DMs that we receive. They create suspicion. Suspicion of what? Suspicion that you want something from me. Because if you don't want me, how can you care about me? Or how can you have my best interests at heart? And that's the same with love bombing, right? In the dating world or whatever. Like if someone comes on too much too soon, or they start behaving as though they care about you or they think a lot of you when they clearly
it's an appropriate investment, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's actually like a danger warning.
So that's really interesting. So spamming versus giving too much attention and not giving that much attention, it all comes down to appropriate attention. So having a touch point is about going, this is what's an appropriate investment for the level of for the level of relationship we've got. So a touch point, yeah. Okay. So it creates appropriateness, which means that if it's appropriate to have a conversation with someone, they aren't suspicious of you and they're going to be open.
Yeah.
Okay. However, so let's talk about,
making this sound quite complicated, because there are, we're talking about offline touch points, right? In the real world, but let's just bring it online a minute, because there are so many online touch points, right? It doesn't need to be complicated. So like step one, start with the touch point. You have to start with the touch point. Otherwise it's going to feel awkward.
Give me an example.
Someone follows you on Instagram.
Okay. Perfect. Love that. So what? Then if someone follows you on Instagram, you message them saying, hey,
thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow. It's great to be connected. And depending on what your niche is, you'll come up with something that will be related to that. So for me, I'll be like, hey, thank you so much for the follows. Great to be connected. What is it you do? Or
that's nice.
Coach, how long have we been doing that for? Or
another good one would be like, what has attracted you to my page?
Yeah, you can do that. But it's like, I personally wouldn't answer that question if it was myself, because I'm like, it feels a little bit like you're just asking for validation, or you're asking
okay.
And I'm like, it doesn't feel like kind of natural conversation stuff. But that it is a good one. You can use that. I'd rather ask them a question about them rather than ask them for feedback about me.
I guess I wasn't trying to go for feedback. It's more like, what is it that had made you interested? Because then that draws a question on that topic. But yeah, okay, if it's like, shower me with the validation, they're not gonna provide that. Okay, that's a really good one. I really like that. If someone follows you, what about but I guess a like as well. It's a bit much, isn't it? Hey, thanks for liking something.
Like is not a good enough touch point. It's not. I see people doing this sometimes. It's like, thank you so much for liking my post. It's like, there
was literally a millisecond of thought that went into that, mate. I don't even know if I did or not.
Yeah, I don't know who you are. I can't remember what post you on about. I was 2 weeks ago. But yeah, follow is a really natural one.
It told me I'd manifest my dreams if I liked that. So where's my dreams? Missing? Joking. Okay, so right, we've got the touch points. Have you got any other examples of touch points that are really good?
I've got loads. There's loads of things. Those are things that you can do. So for instance, like networking is a good one. Like let's say you go to an online or an offline networking event. Follow up with everybody that you met by starting a conversation post networking event. I mean, that's a really strong touch point. Hey, it was great to see you at the thingy network this morning. Wanted to just follow up on something you said about XYZ. Just carry on the conversation. Depends what your conversation was, but you just carry on the conversation. Another one, new members inside your Facebook group. Message all of them. Welcome them in. Find out. This is probably better for finding out what it is that they want from the group, because you could say something along the lines of, I've got loads of resources available for our members inside the group. Just want to ask you a couple of questions to find out which would fit you better, because they've taken a step into your space. It's not like just following you on Instagram. They've actually taken a step into a space that you've curated to help people. So you can ask some questions about what you could help them with.
If they joined your group?
They joined your Facebook group, yeah.
Okay. What about people just on a personal profile?
If there is anybody engaging with your content, engage back. Like answer all the messages that you get. If there's anything that could lead into a conversation, go on from there.
Would you recommend that they have a business page and stuff like that in order to do it?
Yeah.
Like okay.
No. Well, if we're talking about Facebook, I mean, we could do this on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, wherever there is a DM inbox. If we're talking about Facebook specifically, ideally you want a personal profile, a page, and a group to be created into a bit of an ecosystem. Reason being is that your personal profile, you can't really build an audience that you'll be able to run ads to, for instance. And also you've only got up to 5,000 friends, so you can't build a massive following, and massive following is wanted. You've got limitations with a personal profile. You can't schedule posts on a personal profile. There's just a lot that you can't do. But it's the foundation of your Facebook account. So you need one. You have to have one. But you want to optimize that for business because it's the only place you can do DM outreach. You want your business page to show business, but you want that to be linked to your personal profile. And you want your profile and your business page to showcase that you run a business, because you can't send messages from your business page. You can only reply to received messages from your business page. So utilizing your profile for DMs is critical, in fact. But defo, you want to have a business page as well, because that's important for building an audience.
Okay. And so I guess one of the things we also haven't spoken about is like going, okay, what you've got the personal touch point for various different places, like so networking, a follow, a join of membership. Have you got any others?
Yeah, I've got loads. I've got
three more.
Okay, 3 more. Replying to other people's stories. So someone's put something up, you write a comment on the story.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
And straight in the DM inbox. So it's sort of starting a conversation there. Like, it could be like, oh my God, that looks amazing. Where is that? Or, oh my God, I did that last year. That was so much fun. How did you find it? You know what I mean? Normal conversation.
Yeah.
Wishing someone a happy birthday or responding to their achievements. Let's say they've just announced on LinkedIn that it's their 2-year, 3-year anniversary of something. Send them a message to congratulate them on that. Start a conversation. Remember that to get conversations going, you have to ask questions. So statements sort of lead to dead end. Got to ask questions.
What this really bridges in nicely to is the fact that you said, okay, so you can reply to a story, you can say happy birthday, but to what end, right? Because I guess we're talking about this from a business perspective. So do you think the response should be strategic in terms of prospective clients? Do you think wishing someone a happy birthday, how does that lead into that conversation?
Merry Christmas or a happy Hanukkah? Definitely. The reason being is that the purpose of marketing is building relationships, right? The more you just need to make loads and loads and loads and loads of friends. It will really do your business a lot of favors if you have a lot of friends, a lot of people that you've built a good connection with, that you could sit and have a drink with and it would feel natural, right? And when we're wishing people happy birthdays or we're sending people happy Hanukkahs or whatever, we're just building that relationship. So it's not with the mindset of, I'm sending you happy birthday because I'm going to offer you something that you're not going to be able to resist in a minute. It's not about getting to the point really quickly of offering something that you've got on offer. It's about sort of striking up conversations that you can then reignite a couple of weeks later, or you can send them a message down the road if you've got something happening, or you can just continue the conversation. It's the foundations. It's the starting point of building connections and relationships with people on the internet. So that's not always going to be directly leading to a sale. However, I've created a workbook, right, which has loads of touch points for online. And there's a couple of script examples in this workbook. I'm going to show you how to get hold of it at the end. But with that, I've got a script in there, and the script is very loose. Okay. You don't want any conversation to sound scripted. There's too many chatbots in the world. But the idea is that step 1 is touch point. Step 2 is you start fostering some kind of rapport with that person. Yeah. So whether that be talking about birthdays, the weather, what location they're in, where they're on holiday, whatever it is, you've got to do small talk or some kind of rapport building conversation, which is talking about something that you've got in common, or an experience you both had, or an interest that you share, or something. Like John's put in the chat, if he connects with someone inside the Rebellious Business Network, he says, hello, fellow rebel, because they're part of the same community. I know we nearly said cult. We're not really a cult. We're just
hey, fellow cult member.
we're not actually a cult. Someone's going to use that in evidence against us one day. Like, mate, it was a joke. Anyway, so yeah, like finding that mutual ground somehow, somewhere. And I was really good at doing this when I was a nurse, right? You just really quickly, very quickly, you just listen to what they're saying, their accent, their body language, if you're in person, or something that they say. You just got to find some kind of common ground. It's a fast track to rapport building. Okay, so that's the second thing. And then the conversation, obviously, we want to lead it in the direction of, I am the helpful person. Yeah. So step 1, touch point. Step 2, rapport. Step 3, be the helpful person. Be the person that can help with something, anything, right? So I will always direct my DM conversations where I can and where it feels natural to lead to the question, oh, I've got something that could help you with that. It's a something PDF, or it's a recording of something, or it's a one-to-one call where I help you with XYZ or whatever. So we're leading the conversation to the point where you can be the helpful person. And then
you say practically, quickly, just on that one, practically, how does that work?
Okay, so it might be like, hey, thanks for following me. It's great to be connected. What is it that you do? I see you're a coach, but what area do you coach in, for example? Yeah. They reply, oh yeah, I'm a relationship coach. We all set up on relationships, don't we? I'm a relationship coach. Oh, cool. How long have you been doing that for? A couple of years. Oh, amazing. What's your next big goal? Oh, a lot of people, a lot of scripts for DMs direct people to find out what's the biggest problem that you're facing right now. You don't want to go to the problem first. Yeah. Because if you go to the problem first, it looks like you're prospecting. So what's your next big goal? What are you working towards? And then that gives you a sense of where they're at. Is that awesome? Then you can talk about I'd lead the conversation to like, okay, so tell me, I can't think of how to word this that doesn't feel awkward without me writing it, but
placeholder.
What's preventing you from achieving that right now? Or if you could, what one thing is getting in the way?
Are we presuming? So say that again. So it's like, thank you for the follow. So we're going to presume if they're following us, they've got some sort of relevant interest in us and our business, which opens the door for potentially I can help you. So we kind of we're presuming there's a little bit of warmth there because they followed you and if your business page is set up and your profile is set up and you're producing content that showcases that you're actually what you're doing, there's a few things that it's dependent on, but that's fine. You can presume that they're almost warm enough to thoughtfully prospect. What if you're messaging someone happy birthday on their Facebook profile? Let's say this, right? You can see someone on Facebook, and they're not in your group. Let's say that's the step you want to get them to, right? You want to get them into your group, and you think they'd be really good as a member in your group, or whatever it is your tribe that you've set up. And you've got this person on Facebook who you've got a good enough rapport to wish them happy birthday or to comment on their odd picture of their dog. Oh, that's so cute. And you know their background, a bit like, oh, they work in this particular field and this is quite nicely linked to what I do here. How do you go from happy birthday to, I think you joining my group?
I'd just say, happy birthday. I hope you're having an amazing day. I probably would just stay.
How do you want to make this day better? No,
And the thing is, birthday is not a very good example because there's your high attention competition on birthday because you're getting swamped on Facebook and messages with happy birthday messages. I think Christmas is a better example. Okay. Like sending out maybe a video that you could say in the video that you're sending it to loads of your followers or people in your group or whoever, or send a message out saying, hey, just wanted to wish you a really happy
That's
Christmas.
a nice idea.
With some kind of happy Christmas gift that's on brand, perhaps, I don't know. But
I like that a lot.
I want to wait for them to wish you Merry Christmas back, or for them to reply. And then you can ask them a question. Oh, what are your plans this Christmas? What are you up to? Or are you working over Christmas, or you got some holiday booked in? Do you know what I mean? Like something around that. Now, if it was happy birthday, I'd do the same. Happy birthday. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Did you have a good day? What did you get up to? Oh, nice. That sounds awesome. So you're starting the conversation naturally, and then you're going to lead it into then talking about something else.
The offer.
And like, oh, you could even go like, happy birthday. Did you have a good birthday? Oh, great. What did you get up to? I did this. Oh, that's awesome. I did that last year. It's really fun. Yeah, I loved especially this bit. Did you do that? Like, yeah, I did that. And it's like, oh, cool. Oh, by the way, just wanted to let you know, I got something that might be really useful for you. And you could just literally go straight into, I'm running an event next week and I'm just letting a few people know about it, and tell them about the event you're running next week. The point is you've got the rapport. It's okay it doesn't have to be a really smooth conversation, but you've got to get the rapport. You can interrupt the conversation flow and like offer them something if there's enough rapport there, right? So if you're having a conversation, like me and Caroline are like, tick, 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 when we're having conversations, like, hey, every 5 minutes, we're on to a different subject every 2 minutes. That's not like bad conversation. I mean, conversations don't always flow really smoothly. In fact, being really smooth is not actually a good thing. People go, oh, you're a bit smooth. You don't want to be really smooth. But yeah, if you feel like interrupting that conversation to offer something and you've got enough rapport behind doing that.
What I really like about that example is also it's really non-threatening. It's like going, I've got this event. It's really value adding. It's not like offering a service. It's like, and I think this brings back to the value of a lead magnet, right? Like, especially a live lead magnet, especially like an event or like a group that is really, it's really easy to drive a question, like drive a conversation towards that. Like, by the way, I've got this community. I think you'd really suit it. It's just really nice, isn't it? It's like, it's just takes away a lot of that icky feeling of like, oh, here's my service.
Oh God, I know.
Please let me send you a sample. I think that's a really important thing as well. It's like, it's not just about moving the conversation from, moving the conversation from like happy birthday to buy my stuff. It's like, well, actually, if you think of happy birthday as just starting a conversation an excuse to start a conversation, it doesn't even have to be their birthday. It's like, hey, I saw that your post about it could be anything. Also, I've got this event happening. I think it's you don't really, like you said, you don't need to be smooth to make that offer, because it's a really nice offer. So I think that's a really good one. What about if it's like, it is pretty like, I'm a painter and decorator and I want to paint your house. How would you go from could you go from happy birthday to I want to paint your house?
If you're a painter and decorator and you're sending happy birthday messages, guess what? Flipping everybody's got a birthday. And that means all of your followers, if you did that every day to everybody that's got a birthday who you're connected with on social media, then all of your social media followers are going to get a notification from you, which is going to create some kind of rapport. When they need to get their house painted, you'll be a person that they think of. So it's like, it's not all about going straight for sales, it's about building relationships, building connections. And if it's appropriate, taking that to the next step and moving it into a prospecting conversation. And if it's not, being okay with achieving goal number 1, which is make a friend on social media, add someone else into your high rapport connection crew that you can start another conversation with in the future really easily with, because you've broken that ice already. So you've got ice-breaking, rapport-building, relationship-creating conversations. That's the first stage. Second stage is this appropriate to pivot into prospecting? And if it is, awesome, pivot into prospecting. But it might not be, because I might not be wanting to paint my house. It might not be on my radar right now. But if I wanted to, and you're someone who I've recently had a chat with, then you're probably going to be the person that comes up when I think about it.
Okay. So this is really nice. It is all about quick wins and just not really feasible, right? Like these three, the 3 examples you gave earlier went straight to the sale. I think that's also one of the rules we have within the network is you don't go straight to the pitch, straight to the bin. The reason for that is that it's just a bad way to do business. So the whole purpose of it is like these 3 DMs, one of them was fake, the other one was too close to the pitch, and the other one was just nothing but pitch. So ultimately, there's no solution to if you just want to go around pitching people, because it is akin to going up to someone in Costa and saying, hey, do you want me to paint your house? And that's it's not going to give you any sort of result. I think only a mad person would take you up on that offer. So ultimately, it comes down to the same purpose that, if you want to get business online, you do need to have touch points that people can connect on, whether it's a group, whether it's, well, other things as well, like a reason for having a conversation with them that's not suspicious. But on top of that, it's also, you got to take time, like make a person feel cared about.
Yeah, you do. You do. And it's you just literally need to prioritize connection and prioritize relationships. And that's it.
I like that.
I wanted to show you so this is actually from someone inside our community that sent me this, who I then hired. And this is the reason why he's actually in our community. He ended up going to work for one of my friends for a bit as well. And he's recently posted in the RBN. So those of you that are in the Rebellious Business Network, you've probably seen Andrew Wilkinson from Oh Yes Marketing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So he sent me this and it was so genius. I've used it in training videos to just show people before. Cordelia, new message. Hi, new message. It's Andrew, new message. Don't panic. You don't know me. New message. I'm a copywriter. New message. I work with coaching and education businesses to get more clients with non-sleazy direct response copywriting. New message. So ads, emails, landing pages, web pages, etc. New message. No idea if that's something you're looking for right now. New message. So feel free to tell me, no thanks, Andrew. New message. But, new message, you have a really powerful brand and I'd love to work with you. New message. And I haven't got the rest. So here's what I'm thinking. And basically what he pitched to me was that he'd write me some emails. He wouldn't charge me for those emails and we'd see how it goes. Right. I ended up saying, yeah, I replied to this. I was like, wow, I love this DM strategy. Reason being, this is not very easy to copy and paste. New message, new message, new message, new message. Like very difficult. That's not block text like curated by Mary. There's just been copied and dropped. So that's got my attention because I'm like, oh, there's effort gone into this. Even if it is copy and paste, right? Let's not mess. I know it's copy and paste, but it feels like it isn't because it's new message, new message, new message, new message, right? And he's done that.
Come up in your inbox as like 7 messages.
Yeah, it came up as like 15 messages. So that's the other thing. It was like loads and loads of notifications. But yeah, I mean, that wasn't necessarily a positive or a negative, but
I'm just intrigued.
Yeah. But what I really liked about it was humble. It was to the point. It was directly offering me something with no touch point. He said, I've got a really powerful brand. He could have said that to anyone. It's not. But there was just something
that could do with a bit more. They could do with some more personalization there. Powerful brand is a bit whatever, but fine. One little black mark.
So the first thing I did was I read these messages. The second thing I did is I went and checked out his account, and he writes like I like to read, and so I was like, okay, this sounds good. And he did. He worked with us on a couple of projects and wrote some email series with us for certain launches and stuff that we did. But yeah, and now he's in our community and he's an absolute legend. But this was just a really good way of doing it. Like if you're going to do cold outreach, what I like about this is there's effort. Okay, could do with tweaking, but there's some effort put into this. The second thing is don't panic. You don't know me. We're adding comedy to the fact that, yeah, I know I'm kind of cold DMing you, but don't panic. I'm not going to pounce on you. The next thing was just like telling me what he does and saying, no idea if that's something that you're looking for right now. No idea if that's something it's like, there isn't like, is that something that you're looking for right now? It's no idea if it is. And it just feels a bit softer.
I think it feels very transparent. That's the thing I like about this. It's like the thing I said earlier, it's like, I like, and actually I'm really glad this came up because I said, I actually quite like this is what I'm after. Like, this is what I'm here for. Like the guy who sent the video, he's like, oh, let's be friends. It's like, you don't want to be my friend. I mean, I don't know why, because I'm fabulous, but I know you don't want to be my friend. So now I just feel fooled. However, because there's this transparency, it's like, it saves a lot of what's the word? Just icky rejection stuff, and both people feeling a bit sheepish and like, oh no, I thought you wanted to be my friend, and actually now I know you don't. You just want my money, and the other person's like, damn it, I've been caught out. So I like the transparency. That's really interesting. I really like that transparency.
I found the second bit. So here's what I'm thinking. I can write you a couple of emails for your list, new message, in exchange for a testimonial or maybe a case study, as I want to stack my own social proof and build my network, of course. New message. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in or not. New message. Have an amazing day. Like, I just, and Karen said, I would wonder why a copywriter would want to send so many messages all at once. I'd feel bombarded as the recipient. And I agree, but I think for me, it felt very refreshing. It was like a different approach. And if it had just sent me one message, it wouldn't have had the same effect, because it would have just been another bit of drop into pitch to me. Whereas that felt...
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a bit better, personally. I think it's better. What I also like about that is that he said, let me write you some emails in exchange for a testimonial. That in itself wires quality, because it's like, well, if firstly he's doing work for free. So it's like, I know you want to sell to me, but you're so confident that I'm going to be happy with your work that you'll do it for free in exchange for a testimonial and a case study. I really, that in itself, that little offer is like a really nice, it stitches in the promise of quality. I mean, it'd be such a waste of time for him to do all your emails if he's not got quality copywriting. Plus, the fact he's written these messages it's all right quality. Like, he's done a good job there. I don't know how I would do it better, so that's not really fair for me to be like, it's all right. It is good quality. It's nice. It's personable. That's what you want from copywriting. So there's this promise, there's social proof stitched into it without there being any social proof.
And there is
that quality.
Okay, well, what's he getting out of this then?
Yeah, and and that's the other thing. There's nothing for me to. There's no expense to me. I might as well give it a try.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a win. It's a win-win for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's another thing. If you're not going to if you haven't got like a touch point with someone, like a reason to be messaging them, and you want to pitch straight, you can go straight to the pitch, but it's got to be very win-win for them. You've got to be very confident that you can provide them value. You can't ask for them for money because they don't know how good you are. Really, I mean, I'm sure there are examples where you can do this, but if you're going to go straight in from a cold DM into an offer, you have to make your offer so appealing. That's the most important thing. It's got to be very, very, very appealing. And I mean, if you can make a £10,000 off the bat offer to someone exceptionally appealing that they're going to buy, then by all means, go do that. And this is what we were saying earlier about the live lead magnets, like the community, like the events. It's a free event. It's a free community. It's a very win-win for them. It's very appealing. And that's why I was like, so, with going from the happy birthday to the join my group, it's a very easy transition rather than happy birthday, can I paint your house? It's like that transition is difficult. It's really, really hard. But I mean, if you were going to say happy birthday, by the way, can I paint a small, a wall for you for free to show you my painting and decorating skills? I'm trying to get the word out. Even if you don't want your house painted, maybe you can share that with tell your friends or someone that I've done a good job and I can take a photo of it and put it on social media. How would that suit you? That's way easier to get a response from. So it's like, it's not just about like the seamlessness. It's about making your offer so appealing. Regardless what it is, it doesn't matter what it is. It just has to really appeal.
Yeah. If I can just drop a value nugget into here. Really, if you're new to DMs and you're like, right, I want to start doing this. I want to start DMing, but I feel really uncomfortable about it, or I'm not sure how to do it the right way. The easiest way to get started, and I'm going to give you a script, I'm going to give you some guidance with how to do this in a really simple, easy and nice way. And by the way, it's not true that the DM inbox is just like people are sick of DMs. We've made so much money from the conversations we've had in the DMs, right? But more importantly than that, we've built so many connections. And a lot of people in the Rebellious Business Network are in the network because of conversations that have been had over on Instagram first, which is great. It's helped us to expand our reach with more people. And of course, when we do some kind of webinar or we've got some offer and we're following up with people, or we're having conversations about it in the DMs, there have been many yeses to working with us just from the DM inbox, but you just got to use it the right way. And so I've got a workbook for you. I've got a script and I've got a guide for doing this in a really simple way. What I would suggest is, if you are new to this, if DMing is something that you're not quite a fay with and you want to just get started with, is use this strategy. Works especially well if you're on Instagram. So I'm going to use Instagram as an example. Essentially, you want to just focus on having chats with all your new followers. Now, you might ask me, yeah, but Cordelia, how do I get new followers? That's all very well, but I haven't had a new follower in a while. Well, what you want to do is you want to curate a list of people's accounts that you can go to that have already gathered the kind of audience that you want to gather. So if your audience are mums, you might go to some kind of parenting or mums in business or some kind of big organization that has a big audience of mums. It might be advice for toddlers. It might be the food stuff for weaning. I don't know, whatever. You go do some research on big accounts, corporate accounts or influencer accounts, or just big entrepreneurs that have gathered a great audience that are full of the kind of people you want to connect with. And then what you do is you engage with their account, and you also engage with the people that are engaging with their account. And by engaging, I don't mean like, follow, send a comment on a post, like, because it's just so overdone. Just literally hit the follow button on anybody that you like the look of. Yeah. Now you want to do this with like maybe 20 to 50 people a day. Do not do more than 50 because the limit is 100. And if you kind of go towards that limit by accident, you can end up getting into trouble and getting kind of restrictions on your account. So set a ceiling of about 50 people to follow a day. And that sounds like a lot, but actually you'll get really quick at doing it. This was getting us 300 new Instagram followers a month when we were focusing on this. We're not anymore. We're focusing on other things, but it does work. And we only stopped doing this recently. So going and following all those accounts. And then when they follow you back, send them a message. Hey, thanks for following me back, or thanks for the follow. It's great to be connected. What is it you do? Or something. Now I've got a script for you in the document that I'm about to drop in the chat here on Zoom. If you're watching this over on Facebook, it's going to be in the Rebellious Business Network Facebook group for you to grab. And if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast streamer, then there will be a link in the description of the podcast where you can go and grab the document so that you've got a script. You've got a whole list of natural touch points. And I've written you 2 scripts. You've got one script for new followers on Instagram. You've also got a script for new members in your Facebook group. And you can just take that script and adapt it for whichever touch point that you're using. And it's got the flow from starting the conversation down to the golden question. Oh, I've got something that would really help you with that. It's a insert lead magnet here, right? Now, one thing that I would suggest as well is that when you go through the process, like, allow yourself to just be rubbish at this at the start. It's okay to say things that are a bit awkward. It's okay to get it wrong. Just allow yourself to get into the flow with it. And what you're going to find is that you start having loads of great conversations. Like lots of our clients, they were really kind of like, oh, I don't really want to do this. And they started like, oh my God, I've been having like loads of conversations with people and it feels great. And so you start to have these conversations and actually it just starts to become more and more natural and more easy for you to do. And it is definitely something that you can outsource. The things that you do at the start are not always the things you'll be doing at the end. If you're at a place where you've got assistance or you've got someone that can do this for you, just remember authenticity is important. I had Nader doing this for me and she would say, hey, it's Nader from Team Rebellious. Thank you so much for following us. What is it that you do? Not pretending to be me. So authenticity is super important. So I'm going to drop that in the chat.
Amazing. Love. So I think the last bit is like, tell me about, you did mention briefly that you were getting up to 300 followers a month doing this. Yeah. I want to talk about the success of DMing effectively and correctly. Can you give any examples of like, I don't know, how it's done, how it performs?
What do you mean?
Have we got any clients as a result of doing this?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we have loads.
Yeah, loads. So have you got a favorite example of like when, yeah, I mean, so Andy obviously is a great example of like how a straight to offer DM strategy works, and this strategy you're doing here, generating lots of followers per month. And I like that it's like sleaze free messaging. So what the outcome is clients, prospects, what's the outcome of this strategy here?
No, the primary outcome is building an authentic relationship with someone. Because the more people you know, the better. And these relationships that you build are the foundation of your audience, but they also are the thing that keeps your business alive. because you can go and be the spammy as ever, and you can go and be salesy as ever, and you can rub people up the wrong way. And you might actually make sales in the first year of doing that. But what's going to happen over the course of the years that follow is that your reputation's going to get tainted by how you're treating people on the internet. And so prioritizing building relationships is always number one. Building relationships is number one. Keeping those relationships is number two. Being of service, being the helpful human is the next one beyond that. So
then I can testify to the next thing that happened is I remember when I first joined Rebellious, going through a list of people in the network, and you're like, you recognize them by email. And they were some very obscure emails. You're like, oh, this person's like, and they've done this and they've done this. And I'm like, how do you know all this? It's because you obviously knew them all.
Yeah, and the email was like fluffyrabbit1954@gmail.com. I'm like, oh yeah, that's Judith. Yeah. she's a web designer and she's been in the network for a couple of years or whatever. Yeah. You build a lot of relationships with people. Like I know so many people as a result of the work I've been doing here at Rebellious. It's insane. But yeah, so there's an example that I've got here of like a conversation that went well. So, hey, Anne, how's it going? I just saw your page and thought I'd reach out and connect with you. I think this is when Jennifer used to do the DMs, actually. Jennifer used to do this, reach out and connect with you. How are you? So that's not great touch point, really, but it's just, it's reaching out. And then they've said, hi there, I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well too. Amazing. I'm doing really well. Thank you. How's business going during COVID? Yes, it was ages ago. Business is going really well. What do you do? And then that conversation led on. And then here's another one, right? So there's basically our objective with the Instagram DMs. That was a really old example. I probably should have found a more recent one. Our objective with the DMs on Instagram was always inviting people to join the Rebellious Business Network. And I think depending on where they are in your pipeline is the conversation that you'll have. So someone who's only just started following us, we're not going to offer a product to them at that stage. We'll offer them a lead magnet. Somebody who's inside the Rebellious Business Network, I might offer them a value piece or something that takes them further down the rabbit hole. So I might offer them a one-to-one call that helps them with something. I might offer them the recording of a webinar. I might offer them some free training. Yeah. So we're going to offer them something that takes them a bit further down the rabbit hole. Someone who has been in the RBN, has been watching our content, and we've got a promotion on. I might reach out to ask what they're thinking about the promotion that we put out. Have they got any questions on it that I think that'd be great for it? And do they want to jump on a call to have a chat about it? So it depends on where they are in the pipeline, depends on how many touch points we've had, depends on how warm the relationship is of where that conversation will go. So we've got so many people into the Rebellious Business Network from Instagram, from just having those kind of conversations. Then in the Facebook group, by having a conversation with every single person that comes in, the amount of one-to-one calls we've had booked in, which is great because I'm not pitching on these one-to-one calls most of the time or anything like that. I'm just checking in and making connections. And that means that they feel like they know me and they feel more a part of the group, and they also understand what's on offer in the group. And then when we do offer something, they're going to be a lot more likely to want to come and work with us than if I did that at the beginning in the DMs. So there's lead time with this. But if there is in building any kind of relationship, there's lead time in dating. You don't go on your first date and on your way there, you're like, right, better stop off at the jewelers. Jewelers need to get an engagement ring. Oh, I just know it's going to be a yes. Like, that's nuts. And it's the same with business. You gotta let that relationship percolate a little bit before you're offering your services. You're proposing a commitment that they commit to working with you, or they commit by investing their time or their money in something that you can help them solve. They need to trust that you can do that. They need to trust that you're right for them, and that you need to demonstrate that you have their best interests at heart as well. So yeah, basically, there we go. That's how you get yeses when you propose in the DMs, ladies and gentlemen. That is how you get people saying yes to a first date.
That's broken. So professional at getting yeses. I had no idea. I feel fooled.